Good evening and welcome to the Health and Wellness Show here on COAradio.com. It is that time of the month again, and we are joining you. Can't help. I can't resist that, guys.
Coming from a house full of women, I can't help but chuckle.
Well, we are here. We are back, and thank you so much for tuning in. And if you'd like to be part of the show, you can do that by calling in at 609-241-7103. And I'd love to tell you that our show has a new sponsor. So thank you so much for that. And that is Lifeline Chiropractic with Dr. Carol Iazi. And she's from Cranford, New Jersey. And according to her, your health is the most valuable possession. It's totally up to you to maintain and care for your body and your health. Chiropractic is the best head start you can give your body to a long and healthy life. So thank you for being a new sponsor of the Health and Wellness Show here on COA.
I concur, doctor.
Yes. And we also have Neo Zoe, Health and Wellness Center of Cranford, New Jersey, creating new life, yes, through balanced living, using nutrition, massage, and so much more. And we have Ryche Chlanda and Flying Dream.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Thank you.
That is a progressive rock band, right, featuring our world-renowned musicians, Ryche Chlanda, live. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ron Beanstalk, Kendall Scott, and Jay Dittamo. And our next sponsor is Recovery Spot New York. They're innovating recovery with cutting-edge addiction treatment and outpatient recovery for drugs and alcohol. They offer state-of-the-art medical approaches combined with personal treatment. And they are one of the only physician-owned recovery centers here, Recovery Spot New York.
Yes.
And last but not least, and while we're all here, it's City of Angels. They're conquering our addictions. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, help is available. You can call City of Angels at 609-910-4942. And City of Angels is an organization that runs completely on donations. So if you'd like to make a donation, you can visit the website at www.cityofangelsnj.org. You click the donations tab, enter any denomination you like, and in the special instructions, enter the donation for the Health and Wellness Show. And when you do, we can make you an official sponsor for 30 days as a thank you to you. So thank you to all of our sponsors. So happy that you're joining our shows and being a big part of something that could change people's lives. So without further ado, we are all here joined live for tonight's very special guest, Abbie Signore.
Thank you.
You are a master of everything, I think, anyway, from what I understand.
I try to dabble.
Well, you do, and you are the most recent president of Cranford, New Jersey's Newcomers Club.
Yes, that's
You're
right.
an adolescent educator.
Yep.
But most of all, what I love about you, you are a mom on a mission for nutritious choices
I love that.
Yes.
for adults and children, and you're a wealth of knowledge. You really, truly are.
I try to be well-rounded. You know, I try to dabble in a lot of different things, and I try to learn as much as I can. I think not only am I an educator, I'm a lifelong student. So.
Well, that's really good, because I have a question for you.
Okay.
We spoke off air,
Uh-huh.
right, as we're getting to know you. And I know that you were originally raised in Iowa.
That's right.
So you're out from the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
So how does a farm girl like yourself go from Iowa to the big city?
Okay. It's a great story, I think, because it's my story.
And just be careful what you say here, because you know why? I don't know if you came over by horse or a donkey. And I'm saying donkey as a nice thing. Why would you land up in the big city?
Understandable. I did grow up riding horses, you know, in Iowa, and that was a big it was a big adjustment to have to get to New York City. But I went by way of Minneapolis, so at least I had a little bit of big city experience. I kind of took a little step up and then an even bigger step up. But I eventually got to New York City because of Warner Music Group. I was able to intern at the Minneapolis office while I was studying at the University of Minnesota, and then they hired me for a position at the headquarters in Manhattan. So moved out there and then began my East Coast journey, and I've been here ever since, so for about 11 years.
Do you like the East Coast?
I do. It's different. There's things that you have to get used to, but it's kind of funny because I always say I don't really belong in Iowa anymore. I don't necessarily fit in out here, so I kind of just view myself as a bridge.
What do you miss most, though, from Iowa?
From Iowa? Well, I definitely miss my family. My family's
Right.
all still back there. Hopefully they're listening. Shout out, family. Shout out to my sister. She just had her second baby.
Oh, congratulations.
But what I miss the most is, honestly, there's so much open space out there that when I first moved to the big city, and then obviously and now I live in a suburb, it still feels a little close sometimes. I love taking my kids back to my parents' house and kind of saying, go, be free, and run around and explore.
Right.
Because it's not as easy to do it here. There's places, obviously, but out there I can just very confidently say, get as dirty as you want because grandma's giving you a bath. There you go.
Hand her off.
Right, exactly.
I love it.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it. So I saved this as a surprise for our musical director and Art because they both have musical backgrounds.
Yeah.
But because she worked with more music group, which I thought was pretty cool in itself,
Yeah,
I found out that you play piano,
I do.
the trumpet.
Yep.
You dabbled with the accordion. Dabbled. I don't know exactly how far we got into that. And you sing.
Yes. I would not call myself a singer, but I can sing.
That's good because later
Yeah.
on we're having a
I know.
sing along.
I know.
with
I know.
Rich.
I
was gonna
warmed
say,
up.
it's
I
your
warmed up
lucky
on the
day.
way here.
And you just don't even know it's coming.
Yeah.
This is
No, I played classical piano and I played classical and jazz trumpet, and we have a plethora of instruments at our house. My kids love playing the piano. My husband played drums, so we have a drum set. We have a little half violin for my kids to play. They play my accordion. I taught myself the accordion, so it's very rudimentary. But they sit down and play piano all the time, just out in the open, and they love it. So we have a very musical household. We also have recorders, which my husband hates, but we like to march around the house playing our recorders. So yeah,
Well,
musical
one
family.
thing that you said was really interesting is that because you like to sing, that in your house you have singversations. So you like sing.
Singversations.
Oh, singversations.
Singversations or songversations. Yeah, so basically, well, like one of the things that my husband said to me in our wedding vows is that he hopes that he is able to keep me singing.
Aw.
Because I just kind of spontaneously sing. And when I had kids, the first thing that happened to me is that everything really became a song, because it's when you're home alone with kids and you're by yourself, like I am as a stay-at-home mom, you have to do something. You have to talk to someone. You have to like make a little noise. I have the word sound tattooed on my wrist because I need a little bit of sound.
It's a true statement.
So to keep my sanity, I started singing to my kids a lot. I would just make up little songs or sing known ones. And then as my kids, have gotten to the talking age and everything, they sing with me, and I have caught them on numerous occasions singversating, however you want to say it, back and forth to each other. And it's literally like, are we going outside right now? Let's go put on our shoes. It's just goofy stuff that we do, and it makes it a lot more fun. It's more fun to put your shoes on if you're doing it to a song.
That's true. That's very true.
I
It makes life interesting.
I just said that before.
Life's
Yes,
a
you did.
song.
It's more fun
When you
putting
put
my
your shoes on,
that's
right?
See, as you get older, you just change the words.
The good thing, though, his shoes still have laces instead of Velcro.
Yeah.
Alan.
Alan.
Alan, would you like to tell those at home that do not know this inside joke?
You can tell.
No, I think you should. It's better.
Alan, when I was on a tour bus with Renaissance, it's talking British animals. You ever see the dubbed animals on
Yeah.
YouTube? So Alan was a prairie dog, and it would just open his mouth and say, "Ellen, Ellen," and it just caught me so much fun.
Yeah.
That's all I say day and night is Alan.
Yeah, you're
And
like a little prairie dog popping up.
That's right, and that's what Maryann just said.
Would you like to be more animated for those that will see this on YouTube
Alan!
anytime? Yeah, there you go.
Alan,
Alan.
And that's what he does.
Steve.
Well, how did Steve come into
Steve,
play?
when things get really bad, you say Steve.
Oh, jeez.
Well, that's because this prairie
Steve!
dog was calling his friend Steve. Steve,
I'll
Steve.
be saying Steve pretty soon. Steve. Okay.
And then you knew he was in trouble. And then they went back to Alan, and now it just kind of
Oh,
stuck.
my goodness.
So there you go.
But you know what I'm also noticing
We
here?
all have our ways of going nuts, right?
Our engineer Art has moved our musical director, Ryche, over. And Ryche is having trouble with change right now. I could see it with the guitar and the
I'm
table.
having trouble with change.
There you go.
Lovely song for Sadie.
Thank you.
Because I'm watching it and I can see how awkward he
Because
is.
I have a point to my left, and I'm just a little out of balance.
Oh my God. Oh, here it goes. You can't help yourself, can you?
That's why you hang out with Maryann. She keeps life in balance.
You see, we're singing.
Then I'll start and then we'll never stop.
Go
And
on, go
then like our viewership and listenership.
And
will
that's what
start to
happens.
go
My
down.
kids are ultimately like, enough, Mom, enough.
Well, the best is if you can sing and get them to do chores while you're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's the best
Oh,
part.
yeah.
So, you and I go back a little bit of
We
ways.
do. Mm-hmm.
We really do. And I met Abbie through Neo Zoe, actually, the Health and Wellness Center. And if you'd like to share that
Yeah,
story,
definitely.
you're more than welcome to.
I was not supposed to meet Maryann. I was getting a massage from a random person. That person called me and said, I can no longer do it, but I have someone else who can do it. And I said, great, I'll take it, whatever. I just need a massage. And when I told that person that I was having trouble getting pregnant, she said, I don't want this to be forward or anything, but I know a person who could help you. And this was after 16 months of trying. And so on a whim, needed some help, called up Maryann, and it was one of those kismet kind of moments where all of that happened so that I could get to Maryann. She needed to help me. And so, had my first appointment with her, mostly to deal with infertility at the time. And she wanted to give me some different supplements and some different nutritional drops and different things like that. And I had that moment where I said, no, this is crazy. I don't need to spend this kind of money. Not that it was that expensive, but I was like, no. But then little voice in the back of my head said, give it a try. And I gave it a try, and I have never looked back. I have trusted her through both of my pregnancies, both my years of breastfeeding and keeping me healthy and nutritious through all of that. So I really thank Maryann for my children, honestly.
But you know what? I thank you because you gave it a chance. And not a lot of people give alternative therapies a chance.
Exactly.
And for those of you at home, I do hear this quite often, in my practice. And it's one of those things that there is help. And sometimes it's as easy as a nutritional deficiency.
Definitely.
And fix that, your body's capable of healing itself. So I also commend you because you followed through. And not everybody does. And you did, and it changed your life. And you just learned so much about yourself through the process.
100%. It's one thing to start paying attention. I was just going through life thinking, oh, I don't need to. I had no attention paid to my body, what it was telling me, how it was feeling, how it was acting. And as soon as I started working both with you and with my chiropractor, Dr. Carol at Lifeline, that all changed. That shift happened where I was listening and I was paying attention and I was noticing things and I was noticing changes, positive changes. And obviously the biggest positive change came when I ended up pregnant with my son,
And it's
who's
wonderful.
now almost 5.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
it's been a while.
And then lo and behold, you had a second surprise.
And then little number 2 snuck in there a little bit sooner than I had anticipated, but she's here and she's a pipsqueak and we'll keep her.
And that's why I admire you being a mom on a mission, which
Yeah.
we'll get to in a few minutes. But for those of you who are just joining this show, this is the Health and Wellness Show on coaradio.com. And if you'd like to join the fun, and you can even win something, okay, you could call us at 609-241-7103, and you could speak to any one of us. And if you have any questions for Abbie, please call in, because as we start talking about everything, I can guarantee you will want to join the show. So, you're an adolescent educator.
That's true.
What is it for those of us who do not know?
Okay, so my official education is in teaching adolescents, meaning teenagers, or from grades 7 through 12, English literature. That's my specialty, my specification. I got that training in Manhattan, so it's a little bit different system. When I moved out to New Jersey, I got certified in K through 12. So technically I can teach younger kids now, but I I kind of like the older kids. I like, I know, and yet I spend my days with a 4 and 3-year-old. But I do like the development process of the adolescent, even though they can be tricky. They can be definitely tricky. It's rewarding though to see the light bulbs go off, and that's what drew me to education. When I was at Warner Music Group, I became kind of by passing the intern lady. So I had to manage the interns. And I found it to be really enjoyable because I had these younger kids coming in who knew nothing about an office or business or Microsoft Excel, for instance.
Right.
And I got to teach them some things. And I said, you know what? As much as I love music and as much as I enjoyed working at Warner Music Group and how they brought me to the East Coast into Manhattan, I knew that I had a higher calling. And at that time, it was getting a master's in education. And now I feel like I'm morphing into a different kind of education.
Well, you are. And you know what? I picked up the term intern lady.
Intern lady.
I only knew the lunch lady when I was in school. And she put a whole new perspective on that.
Yeah. I like to take the young ones under my wing and guide them, you know.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
But you said you like to deal with teenagers. You might be arguing that point in a couple of years.
I know,
just
right?
so
When
you
I
know.
have my own. I know. I know. I taught mostly before my kids. Now I've been a stay-at-home mom for a few years. And there are a lot of similarities between adolescence and toddlerhood. So I feel like they balance each other out. Like I'm preparing myself again for adolescence, but I also had some preparation for these toddlers who act like they're 13 sometimes.
Well, then you took all of that, and now you were the most recent president of the Cranford, New Jersey's Newcomers Club.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What is a Newcomers Club?
Okay, so this Newcomers Club is a fantastic organization in our town, and I know a few other towns have it as well, but it's a women's social club, and it's a great place for people who are new to town, new to motherhood, just looking for a new friend base or new connections and networking to come, and we meet monthly and enjoy each other, different aspects of the town. We get involved with different activities that are going around in town, and it's a great place to come and start getting your feet wet with the community. I'm going to shout out to Cranford because Cranford has a great community in embracing their families and stuff. So a lot of people who are new just need a place to start, and it's a great place to do that.
It's really nice that they have a club like that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of towns don't do that.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and we break it out into a couple of different committees. There's a book club and an adult social club, and there's some different family activities throughout the year. We do special things for our new members. We do a lot of advocacy. You know, we try and focus on organizations that benefit women and children, particularly since we are a women's social club. But we also like to have a lot of fun. We have some different, I think we had a Cinco de, actually it was Ocho de Mayo, because ours was on May 8th. So it was an Ocho de Mayo party and stuff. So we like to let loose, and it's a ladies' night out, you know?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You need adult
Don't worry.
conversation once in a while.
I was going to say, don't worry, we're done by like 9:30.
Do you notice how quiet Rich and Art are being during this show, during this
Yeah.
segment?
Do I make you nervous?
Talking about a woman's club?
I live in a women's club.
There you go. So you know all
Careful,
about it.
careful, careful. How that could be misconstrued. He's thinking about it now. Well, Art deserves a medal.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
He has no
All the
comment.
women in my life, no.
Aw, no,
Oh.
not at all.
Could be
I'm-
worse.
It could be a lot worse.
Yes, it could.
I still am going to stand by my motto, though. Behind every good man is a better woman.
Right.
In your case, it sounds like multiple better women.
You know, it's only 2 and 2, but I feel outnumbered for some reason. You know.
Well, you're not jumping in and
Oh,
for
yeah, you're telling
defense.
me. So I'm just active listening.
Okay.
So there's a question for you,
Oh.
for the women.
Yeah.
You know, if you feel behind every good man is a better woman and you want to call in and agree and chime in on that,
Yeah.
I have to put this out there. You
Yeah,
can call
bring
us
it
at
on.
609-241-7103. I'd love to hear that. So then maybe there'll be a third woman and then you really will be outnumbered.
Okay.
Watching him do this, because he's so awkward. I can't help it. For those of you who are watching on radio, is that
No, I know it's a
he's so awkward
It's
how
a
he's
YouTube-
sitting.
It's a YouTube show.
Well, it is too, but by tomorrow. But he's got a microphone for his guitar, and he's trying to avoid that and a table because we changed his chair tonight, and it's fun watching you be so awkward.
Somebody's watching.
I'm getting my really. I'm getting my coordinates.
Are you?
Yeah,
gotta get his
I'm
bearings.
getting my groove down.
Yeah.
I'm getting my groove down.
Yeah,
Little
settle
slow
in.
start today. A little slow start, but I'm getting my groove.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, who knows? You'll get into the groove right as we exit the show, I'm sure.
You know what the snail said when it jumped on a turtle's back, right?
What?
Whee!
Oh,
Yes, he's here all week, folks.
I love
Oh
Laffy
my
Taffy
God.
jokes.
He is here all week.
Yeah. Try the veal.
Try the veal. Well, through this process and all of our goofing around and joking around, are you going to sing my swan song so we end this part of this conversation?
No, but we will have we will have a sing along later on.
Okay.
Promise?
I promise.
And we want those folks at home to sing along too. So get ready. Right?
Okay. All right. Okay.
Or we might have to switch his microphone that it goes right to his face. Watching him is painful. It really
What?
is painful.
Am I painful, Art?
No.
Okay.
No.
Thank you. See.
Well, speaking
Hang
of
in there.
change, and speaking of change, you are a mom on a mission.
Yes.
Okay, because of your backstory that you shared with everybody, and you have your children, I admire you. I really do, and you're inspiring other moms to do what you do, for not only yourself but your children. And what I think is great is that if you follow your social media, you are a master at getting your kids to eat all kinds of vegetables. I've seen your kids raising broccoli
Oh,
and with
yeah.
a smile and eating it like it's a lollipop, you know? So for those moms out there that just cannot get their children to eat broccoli and vegetables, give us your secret.
Well, there's a number of different secrets. So one of the things that has been when I started, okay, beyond just starting with you when I was pregnant and having added nutrition, my kids have been chiropractically adjusted since they were born. I think my son was 6 days old and my daughter was 4 days
And
old.
Dr. Carol
with
Azizi.
Dr. Carol. Yep.
Okay, Lifeline.
And she's fantastic with kids. And the reason we chose to do that is because being born is kind of a hard process if you think about it. It can really jack you up a little bit. So we wanted to give them the best start that they could have physically, and it also helped with breastfeeding and everything. So that was the first start. And then as they were developing and growing and it was time to start feeding them, I really started researching just on my own, the best ways to get kids to eat the way that you want them to eat, which is enjoying fruits and vegetables and almost to the point of asking for them over other things. So I investigated baby-led weaning, which is the process of kind of skipping purees and going straight towards little bits of food that they can actually kind of just practice with, putting in their mouth, chewing, getting the flavor, getting the taste. It was a difficult process because as a new mom, and other new moms will tell you, you're very aware of choking. You're very aware of basically any little thing that seems out of the ordinary, and you're just like, what's going on? But you get over that once you start to trust your kid. And the other thing is you have to really be okay with throwing food away because kids don't want to eat stuff at first. It really takes sometimes 10 exposures before a kid can really say, oh yeah, maybe I do like that taste. And I've tested it on myself because there's a few things that as an adult, I still don't like. And I'm like, okay, I got to kind of give myself at least 10 exposures or like try a little harder if I'm going to teach this to my kids. And it does work if you kind of train yourself to eat, to taste things and eat them and like them. So once the baby-led weaning was kind of up and running, not to say we didn't do some purees as well, but tried our best with my son. He started asking for those kinds of foods. So that helped. And then, of course, number 2 came along and threw a wrench into the whole plan, and, things come and go. So as she's growing, we did a little bit better job with baby-led weaning for her and got to a point where she was probably around 20 months, and I was introduced to a really interesting product that is basically fruit and vegetable juice concentrate. So what happens with this product is that they pick it vine ripe. They take it right there and they either flash freeze it or take it right fresh to kind of pulverize it.
Right.
They take all the water out, all the fiber out, and the sugar out, and they make it into a powder. And then it's legitimately fruits and vegetables in a capsule.
That's wonderful.
And I was like, well, who doesn't want fruits and vegetables in a pill form? You know, like that's kind of the dream, isn't it?
Right.
So when we started, they also make it into a gummy chewable.
I was going to say, yeah, for children.
For the kids. But Dr. Bill Sears, the world-renowned pediatrician, endorses it. And what he likes to encourage his patients to do is open the capsules up, because they're pretty easy to get open, and take the sprinkle, he calls it sprinkles, the powders that's in there, and just sprinkle it in baby's mouth, so that they can start to get the taste of fruits and vegetables and start to like it and start to crave it. So that's the one thing that once, it's interesting, right? The one thing that I noticed right away is as we started to get these nutrients, phytonutrients into our bodies, my kids' taste changed. My cravings changed. I realized I wasn't craving chocolate, as I see Art eating his chocolate.
I'm eating some.
Well, I was going to say, you know, she
70% dark.
She has fruit and vegetable concentrate she
hide
brought here. And we're
Yeah.
hearing these wrappers in our ears from this candy. And you guys are trying to sabotage what she's talking about.
Exactly. Oh, a little bit of chocolate's okay. Don't get me wrong.
It's okay, but it's not a little bit that they're doing.
know,
Are you
right?
seeing this?
No, I'm just trying to jump myself up just a little bit.
Yeah, he needs a little sugar jazz.
Yeah.
I get it.
Again, she brought the fruit and vegetable
Yeah.
concentrates
I'll
with her.
try that. I'll try those too.
Yeah, they're good. But you know, it literally does change what your body craves, and it's an amazing thing. Within these concentrates, you're getting up to 35 diverse fruits and vegetables, which is kind of amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Now it's not a full serving; it's just the phytonutrients from it. So if you're not eating 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, anybody? Not me.
You're funny.
Not me, then your body's lacking. And this is a product that can really bridge the gap, and it can, you know, there's what you do eat versus what you should eat.
Right.
And this helps you bridge that gap to what you should eat.
I feel so guilty
Yeah.
now.
You
You
should.
should.
In unison. See that?
And
Wow.
if you need a chocolate fix, which is still my weakness, you know, I still crave.
I feel better though. I had some chocolate.
Yeah.
Now I feel
now you're
better.
perked
Yeah,
up
now
a
I'm
little bit,
perked.
right? Well, what he could have done is try one of the chocolate. We have some chocolate bars that are part of our nutrition
I'll be
program.
happy to. I'll be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. And then there's also some chocolate protein and fiber shakes
Which
that
you don't-
actually really get that sugar craving that you need, that sweet feeling. And it's got the glycemic index of broccoli.
That's what it is.
See
too.
that?
It's
Amazing,
it's
right?
like that sweet
Sweet craving, but don't forget, you crave what you cannot digest, my friend.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You crave what you cannot
Ooh.
digest. And the reason for that is your brain is not getting the message that you got what you wanted. And what do? You just keep going for more. Like how many people, and not to talk about anybody in the room that is demonstrating this with candy,
Oh, I'm demonstrating.
but I am telling you that, you know, there's people there that have the ice cream,
All
right? And they think they're satisfied. And what do? They go back, and before you know it, they
Take
ate
this
the
back.
entire gallon
Yes.
of ice cream within a day or two.
Been there, done that.
I think we
Yep,
all have, you
yep.
know? And we say things in moderation, but if your brain did not get the
Mm-hmm.
chemical signal that it's satisfied, you're going to keep going back. So remember, folks, you crave what you cannot digest.
And you know, one thing that I noticed too within my
He's snorting.
experience is like if you tell yourself no, if you deny yourself something, you want it even more,
Oh,
and then you
absolutely.
overdo it as well. But if you eat something that blood sugar wise balances you out and keeps you in in this kind of like level neutral zone,
Right.
and still gives you that sweet fix that you want, you have a much better chance of having that willpower to say
Absolutely.
no to the extra cookie. Now, I'm not saying you can't have a cookie. I'm just saying maybe the extra cookie.
You mean the whole
Or the
package,
whole
the
package.
whole sleeve,
Or the
let's be
whole,
real.
the whole pint of ice cream. You have like 2 scoops instead, you know? So that's been really good for my kids because kids love sweet things, obviously. You know, that's like their goal during the day is what sweet treats can we have?
Well, I think what people don't realize is that when you are doing the fruits and vegetables, your body's becoming more alkaline. And when it does that, the
Totally.
sugar cravings go down. So you're
Yes.
not looking for that immediate fix, and you're more energetic.
Yes.
And what I've noticed, because I've experienced this too, is that if you don't keep feeding that sugar craving, eventually it just goes away.
Yeah.
You just don't crave it. Because
It's-
I used to be like the queen of the sweet
Mhm.
foods. It had to be cakes, cookies, donuts. I don't even crave it. Like, I don't even want it. I look at it and it kind of makes me sick.
Yeah.
You know, I actually love fruits and vegetables. Right? I
He
mean,
could eat an entire bag of cherries at one point. Those big bags,
Nice.
cherries, and
oranges,
all,
the
oranges,
5-pound bags.
and all types of vegetables as well. I just love it.
Good.
I love it because it also keeps me occupied.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It takes a lot of chewing, right?
It's a lot of chewing and a lot of hand-eye. It's a lot of hand-eye to find my mouth, and which is true. Instead of eating a piece of cake, let's say,
Yeah.
So you actually have to peel the orange.
you have to peel the orange.
It takes a little bit of time, a little
What
bit of
happened
effort.
to the apples?
I don't eat apples that
That,
many.
that was in
many
the
apples.
winter time.
Oh,
He would
I
literally,
did eat apples in the winter.
Abby, what you don't understand, he could take a 5-pound bag of apples and eat it in one sitting.
And
That's,
see, he probably got sick of them. That's why he doesn't eat them anymore.
I did.
well, we got sick of watching him eat them. It was like every day. Like we said, an apple a day keeps the doctor
Yeah.
away. For him, it was a 5-pound bag a day.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, could
Well,
be worse.
we're all not like me to eat a whole 5-pound bag of apples. So
Nobody can be just like you.
Although my son might give you a run for your money. I
Really?
mean, when I say, okay, it's time for a snack, the first thing he says, I want an apple and I want a banana.
Oh, that's cool.
Every day.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That is good.
I love that taste. And they're sweet enough.
Yeah.
That they have, if you crave sweets, an apple or a banana is sweet enough.
Yeah. It is.
And you can't stop at one banana. I have.
Well, we're going to take a pause here on that note because I'm not even going to take that any further.
Okay.
And we're going to take
Oh.
a commercial break from our sponsors. Here it is. And, well, it's going to be here because it's going to be Neo Zoe you're going to hear from, our sponsors.
Oh, don't give it away, Maryann.
I think I should. But there's a special surprise at the end. So it could be like a former guest. And what I like is that I'm appreciative of the sponsors of the show, Rich. Like, I'm very appreciative because without them, we don't have a show.
Correct.
Correct. And so here we go. Here are our official sponsors. Are you constantly living with dysfunction in your life? If so, there's help. Neo Zoe, New Life Through Balanced Living, is a very unique holistic wellness company that's here to help you preserve a healthy balance and eliminate any dysfunction. We use an individual approach through nutrition, massage, and various other holistic practices. You can restore your optimal health and a healthy lifestyle. Visit us on the web at neozoe.com or call us at 732-713-0123.
If addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues control your life, and you are ready for change, Recovery Spot offers expert outpatient care for addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues. We offer focused, high-quality treatment specifically designed for you. The Recovery Spot, we offer new hope for those suffering from pain and addiction. www.recoveryspotny.com. We're located in New York City.
Hi, I'm Michael Ciccolini, author, actor, interpretive dancer, owner of a 2005 Buick Skylark, and you're listening to City of Angels Recovery Radio.
Oh, I absolutely love that with Michael Ciccolini. That was fantastic. That was a nice surprise. Thank you.
Oh,
It was great.
I love him.
Well, for those of you just tuning in, you are listening to the Health and Wellness Show here on COARadio.com, and we'd love to call and hear from you with any questions, success stories of getting your kids to eat vegetables, or maybe you ate vegetables. That's even better. And you could call us at 609-241-7103. So, I see that we were talking about apples and bananas and all before we left for break. And you have a little something that a multivitamin versus an apple.
Right. So one thing that, I don't want to say that this fruit and vegetable concentrate that I was just talking about is in replacement of fruits and vegetables. Like, obviously, fruits and vegetables and plant-based foods is the healthiest way you can go. So this is the concentrate is more of a bridge the gap kind of thing from what you do eat versus what you should eat. But one thing that I found so interesting is, so many people spend a lot of money on multivitamins. And the more I investigate and research into fruits and vegetables and a healthier lifestyle, even I don't even want to say vegan because I would never say I'm a vegan. I definitely eat meat and everything else. But, just looking at that perspective, one of the things that I wanted to highlight is that there is a significant difference between the synthetic multivitamins versus whole foods, which includes plant foods, fruits and vegetables. So one of the things to think about is when you're eating an apple, there's so many vitamins and minerals working together in that apple just by itself that create a synergistic process that your body knows how to respond to. It's called bioavailability. It knows how to take what it needs from that apple and process it, right? Whereas a synthetic vitamin, multivitamin even, is isolated and chemically produced. So your body doesn't recognize it necessarily, and it can remain in your body and be floating around kind of not knowing what to do, or it can just pass through you without actually taking effect. So it's a fascinating idea that plants have that much power, you know. And one thing that's interesting to me is we don't even know how many vitamins and minerals actually are in just a single apple. There's so many enzymes and complex natural things, you know, from nature.
Well, this brings up a good point. You bring up a good point because right now, I know that there's lots of toxic chemicals.
Yes.
Okay. And they put our health at risk. And it's in our environments, whether it's from cleaning products in the home to your laundry detergent to all kinds of things, to the air quality outside, to agriculture,
Yeah.
and to the food. So my question becomes, you know, right now we're talking about all the health is in food.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not denying that
Yeah.
whatsoever. But we also have to look at, you know, what kind of soil. And even though we label things organic, we're finding out through current studies they're not necessarily organic. And like, for instance, a very quick lesson is that when you're in the food store, every item has numbers on it, right? And for instance, like bananas, there's a universal code, if you will, of
Yes.
4011 for bananas.
Sure.
And that is just your general banana. Then they have ones that are saying 94011. Those are your organically grown. That number 9
Yep.
signifies organic. But now, which is very, to me, in my opinion, very troubling and unsettling, they have now the number 8. And the number 8 is genetically modified produce. And if you don't know the numbers in a grocery store, sometimes you don't know what you're picking up. And when something's genetically modified, you don't know what you're getting. But also, even if something is, if you will, in the general category or even organic crops, for instance, say they're towards the bottom of a field and the rainwater comes down from the other crops that have fertilizers and everything, that water is trickling down into
Yeah.
you know, that crop that says it's organic. And with all intensive purposes, I think you want to keep it organic. But because of the environmental hazards, I guess you would call it,
Yeah.
it's not. So in that apple that you're talking about and has a lot of nutrients, no doubt.
Right.
But what you're talking about here with the concentrates and stuff, does that help because of we don't know the quality of our food supply these days?
Yeah, you know, it's totally true that the quality of food, I have a statistic here, has lost up to a whopping 40% of its nutrient
Yes.
content versus what our parents and our grandparents
Correct.
grew
Wow.
up eating.
Wow.
That's amazing. 40%
crazy.
loss in nutrients.
That's crazy.
It's astounding. And the one thing that happens with the fruit and vegetable juice concentrate is that they pick it at the peak of ripeness.
Right.
And it's processed right away. And they are NSF certified, which I always get this wrong a little bit, but it goes through a very rigorous process where they are constantly checking the farms and the orchards and wherever the fruit and vegetables are coming from to make sure that they are as pristine as they need to be to
Right.
give us the full content. So you have to think about not only is the soil depleted, but when you're buying food in a grocery store, which obviously I'm saying you have to buy food in a grocery store too, but the process that takes to get that food to the grocery store, you know, it's not going to be as vine ripened.
Correct.
It's not going to be the freshest possible. Even if it's flash frozen and sent to your grocery store, it's not. So another part of the holistic food program is growing your own food.
Well, that's what I was going to get into because
I knew where you were going.
yes, it's like I don't necessarily have a green thumb. I try, and
I have
sometimes
my
it works.
garden. I have my garden.
Oh, I'm
for
glad
you.
you have your garden. I try. I have all good intentions. But one thing that I notice is that you've had pictures of and you have your kids involved. It's a whole family project.
It's fun.
It's a garden and it looks like, it's tubular. It looks like great because like people that live in apartments and all that would love to have a garden or don't have a community garden they
Right.
can go out to. What I saw that you have, and maybe you could tell the folks
Yeah.
at home and describe what you're doing, you could grow, and it looks so easy. It almost looks effortless.
So I have a little anecdotal story. So my fruit and vegetable journey actually started when I was growing up in Iowa. Both my parents are from farms. And so, growing things and farming and animals and all that kind of stuff was obviously their lives. They imparted that to us. I have a brother and two sisters. As we were growing up, we didn't quite have the farms, but my mom had prolific gardens. I mean, they flourished. And she made a deal with me that if I helped her in the garden, weeding and picking, I would be able to take all of the produce that was extra from what our family didn't need, which we always had a lot. I would bag it up in little brown bags, put it in my little red wagon, and I would pull that wagon door to door throughout my neighborhood selling vegetables. And it was 50 cents for a bag of green beans, a dime for a zucchini. I mean, the cheapest, freshest fruits and vegetables you could get, right? So I, though, myself, have a little bit of a black thumb when it comes to gardening. I also don't have the space. At my house, I have a decent-sized backyard, but I don't have enough space to rip something up and like get going in the soil and everything. And I'm also worried that our soil would need a lot of nutrition to get to the level where it could actually grow the kind of significant vegetables that I would like to have. So the thing that we have is an aeroponic grow tower, and it is kind of like a space age amazingness. I love it. So it's 20-gallon tank at the base that you fill up, and then you add some minerals. And what you do is there's no soil. You plant seeds or plant seedlings in rock wool, and you stick it kind of all around this tube, and it's aeroponic.
So the
there's
tube is vertical for this.
Yes, the tube is vertical with these it kind of looks space age. It's got like the plants sticking out of it then. What happens is there's a pump in the base that pumps water up through the tube, and all the roots grow inward and kind of collectively. It's really amazing to see the roots without dirt all over them.
Right.
So they grow in, and then it grows out. And then every once in a while I'll trim the roots, and I have to literally reach in and just kind of yank some of the roots so it doesn't plug up my pump. And it's amazing. They're just like these crisp, white, like crunchy roots. I love it. It grows 30% more food 3 times faster than a traditional garden.
Oh, wow.
There's no dirt, digging, or weeding. 90% less water. So this 20-gallon tank at the base, it pumps about every 15 minutes. I think since I started it in late May, I think is when I started it, I think I've filled it, meaning like just filled it up 3 times.
So in less than 6 weeks.
The most was this morning. I filled it up probably about 10 gallons, just because it's been kind of hot. But I haven't ever let it get all the way down, obviously, because it needs the water. But it's amazing. And then it also takes up 90% less space. So it's only a 3-foot diameter.
Oh, okay.
I saw the pictures of those. They were actually pretty awesome.
Yes.
It's amazing, right? So the amazing thing is that people love these so much that they're making farms out of them. And restaurants are even making kind of their own grow tower section that they pull off and then cook.
That's the farm to
chef-
fresh, right
yeah.
to the table.
100%.
Yes.
And there's an amazing man named Stephen Ritz. He's a South Bronx teacher. He had this idea to incorporate the growing of plants to help his students. He's a science teacher, and kind of started on a whim and has gotten to the level where he uses these specific aeroponic gardens now in classrooms all over the South Bronx, and he's ventured out into the world. I mean, he's been to the White House, and he's been to Dubai, and he's been everywhere. And anyway, I've been reading the story of him, and it's just amazing the kind of effect it's had on these kids in these classrooms. They're graduating the graduation rates are drastically improved. Test rates are drastically improved. Attendance, people are coming because they want to see what happens. They want to be involved, these kids, when they didn't have any other reason to come to school really in the first place. They're coming back because he made it something that's alive and living and breathing almost for these kids.
Right.
So it's amazing.
And it gives them something to do. So, like, here at City of Angels, it's about addiction and then recovery.
Right.
And gardening could be a great part of that. You
Yes.
had brought up that point.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, you
about
know, the process of gardening is really interesting because it is kind of like having a child a little bit, in the sense that you're starting from a seed, you're starting from maybe a seedling. It's something that needs a lot of care and nurturing and tending. These grow towers are nice because you don't have to weed. But if you have a traditional garden, you have to weed it, you have to care for it, you have to water it, and you have to make sure that animals aren't eating it, you're protecting it. It's something that can be yours and that you can start and want to see it finish and want to see the fruits of your labor too. You know, having something to care for is really important.
And which
It
is
relies
good.
on you.
Yeah, and that's what I think, you know, we always look for something that might interest us, you
Yeah.
know, and I think you did a great analogy. So thank you for that. For
Yeah.
that. And, you know, that could,
Yeah, that was great.
I was going to
I
say,
love that. I
you know,
love that. Yeah.
we tell him that he lives at Chlanda. It's a studio, theme park, and petting zoo.
Yeah.
Because there's so much. You have a new way to garden now.
Yeah.
You might not
Yes.
have to do the 5 acres anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, and you can do it inside too. That's the amazing part.
Oh,
They
really?
sell grow lights that you can do it inside, so you can do it year round.
So you could actually move it in and out, right, as the seasons.
100%. Yep.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, to think that
That's
you
what
can
caught
have
my eye. Like you can kind of move it outside and
Yep.
bring
And
it
then
inside.
bring it in.
and
inside.
to imagine like the dead of winter having fresh salad. You know what I love is especially because there's no dirt. My kids go up to the garden. I've taught them, you know, this is the salad leaves, so these are the ones you can eat right off of the
Right.
thing. They just go and pluck it, put it right in their mouth and eat it, and it's a beautiful thing because they want to try it. I
And
mean,
it's
they
clean.
will,
It's
and it's
clean.
clean.
It's very
It's
clean.
You know, bugs visit it,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
It's bugs. What are you going to
bugs.
do?
Yeah, it's part of nature. But you know, the fact that my daughter will say, "We're growing kale," I'm like, "Oh,
She knows what
loves
it is.
kale. Oh my gosh."
Which is good.
She tells people that.
That's
She's
awesome.
3.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. So that's a great way to get kids involved too, because little kids, like my age kids, because they have no idea where food comes from. They think
Right.
it's the grocery store. So to show them that we planted this seed together, now we're seeing it growing in the tower, now we can pick it, we can eat it, they're a lot more likely to eat something that they've seen that process happen
Absolutely.
with. So it's been fun. We have a lot of cucumbers coming up, so if anybody needs some cucumbers.
I do.
Okay, they're yours.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I have a very aggressive cucumber plant right now.
Those
It's a pickling operation.
Yes,
There it is.
exactly.
I love it.
exactly.
You could pickle them too. That's what makes
Yeah.
them great.
Absolutely.
I love them. Well, for those of you just tuning in, you're listening to the Health and Wellness Show on COARadio.com. You can join the fun and call us at 609-241-7103. And I'd like to take a moment because I'd like to make this announcement for
Okay,
City
wait.
of Angels.
Okay, wait 1 second. I got to just jump in here. You pickle, Art?
Do I- Actually,
You're telling me you're gonna?
I have
you're gonna,
not had good luck with cucumbers.
Okay,
I
just
don't know if
asking.
it's the soil at my house.
All right,
or-
I just couldn't get past that. Okay, I'm sorry.
but I can kill a tomato and peppers.
Right?
Well, he won't.
You know, and I said I had a black thumb. This has been the easiest thing ever, and it just does it on its own.
And I do
practically.
grow all my own herbs and stuff too. So
Oh, okay.
Herbs.
Not that kind.
Oh, okay. So we are talking about like parsley,
Oh.
basil,
Yeah.
sage.
And actually,
Art
I
is very
really
red.
like your idea because what I've done, like for the winter time, is taken a huge calendar and I put a piece of gardening screen in it,
Yeah.
and you can plant your herbs, and you can
Sure.
just move it into the sink and water it, and when it dries out, you can move it out and pick everything.
Oh, so you
off
do
it
that
as
kind
you
of
need
stuff.
it.
Well, this thing is a dream for you then.
Yeah.
This-
Well, I have to, because of all my heart problems, I try not to eat processed foods.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
And kind of
Good
what
for
you were
you.
saying, going back to your grandparents, and
Exactly.
they ate more whole
Whole
foods.
foods, Right.
There
yeah.
wasn't
That's right.
prepared things,
A great quote by Michael Pollan, who's he's a food writer and a food enthusiast. He always says, "Don't eat it if your great grandmother wouldn't know what it
Oh.
is."
That's great.
Absolutely.
Cheetos. Sorry, Cheetos.
Well, you're going to be gardening, but in between your garden, I have to say, Art, that you're doing something very special for City of Angels. So mark your calendars, everybody, for Friday and Saturday,
Nice segue.
September 14th and 15th. You're going to have the City of Angels, Walk with the Angels, and the return of Rockfest.
Oh!
Yes, yay, it's coming back. And that's going to be at the Mercer County Park, West Picnic area, West Windsor, New Jersey. So mark your calendars. And we have some more details. Thank you, Art, for this. Rockfest is a free, yes, I said a free event to attend, and there's absolutely no admission fee. We do have a $5 suggested donation for those interested in assisting City of Angels with continuing its mission of assisting those seeking recovery and educating and offering support to their families. So for those of you who would love to come to Rockfest, I love it because I have the lineup. I'm so excited. On Friday,
It's
September.
actually grown some since.
Oh, I know, but Friday, September 14th, it will be from 6 to 10 p.m. And you could join us Friday evening as we kick off Rockfest with a free community picnic honoring all of our dedicated volunteers and community partners and sponsors. There'll be hot dogs, hamburgers, recovery, great music, a super 50-50, a daily 50-50, a bike raffle, kids area, and there's so much more. And we're going to be adding more details as it's coming to the event. And there'll be special performances that night by Jim Del Rey Band and Nikki Breyer. So that's quite a lineup from 6 to 10 p.m. to start this off.
We're actually still working on some more entertainment there, too.
Oh, yeah, we have some people.
That's who I have so far.
That's who it is.
I believe Steve Trevelise is going to be there.
And Steve Trevelise
that's great.
is one of the
Great.
DJs
On
from
Friday
New
night.
Jersey's 101.5.
And I was going to see if I could get Jimmy Graham to come give us a comedic performance that evening
Nice.
as well.
Wonderful.
He's
And
a
then,
funny guy.
Yeah.
as if Friday wasn't enough, you decided to do Saturday, September
Because
15th.
I'm a glutton for punishment.
This one is from, get this, folks, from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Oh.
Saturday, September 15th,
Wow.
2 p.m. to 10 p.m. And we will continue the Rock Fest with a great lineup of music. There's going to be a car show by Hot Rods Against Heroin, food trucks, recovery resources, kids area, another super 50-50, another daily 50-50, and a bike raffle. There's something for the entire family that day. Again, it's from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. You could have an entertaining day. You could even bring out your blankets and chairs and enjoy a day of entertainment. You want to hear who the entertainment is?
Yes.
As if Richie doesn't know. The first band will be Unleashed. Then we have Jim Gavin, AM Mafia, Charles Larita and the Mischief, Soraya, our very own Rich Chlanda and Flying Dreams,
Hey.
and the Wonderful Winos featuring Vinny Mad Dog Lopez. And for those of you who don't know or not familiar with Vinny, he was Bruce Springsteen 2014, I think it was,
Was
right?
when they were inducted into the
Hall of Fame for the E Street Band, and he's one of the original creators of the Sound of Asbury Park. Vinny Mad Dog Lopez. He was the original drummer for Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band. His unique style on albums such as Greetings from Asbury Park and The Wild, The Innocent, and the E Street Shuffle so has influenced generations for musicians around the world, and he will be there live.
And he's a great guy.
He's fantastic.
How about at the City of Angels?
I said I like the first 3 albums. He goes, I really like the first 2.
Yeah. No. He's great. He's great. I told you this before, Art, but I went up to him. I'm there. Vinny, what kind of drum set do you play? He said, I don't use a drum set. I said, yeah. Well, what do you use? He says, I bring a snare drum, and I'm there. Well, oh, that's cool. I said, well, how do you hear like the kick drum and stuff? He said, oh, don't worry, they'll hear me.
Actually, they were really good. If you go to YouTube and look for, the Wonderful Winos
Yeah, they're great.
and
I
Vinny
saw 'em,
Lopez,
yeah.
they're actually really good.
And you do hear him. You know?
Yeah, you hear him. He's
Yeah.
right in the middle. Like,
Bang. Yeah, I know.
And from my understanding, Art, this is one of City of Angels' biggest events of the year. So if people cannot attend in person, you can go to www.cityofangelsnj.org, and you can also click on Rockfest, and there is a place to make a donation if you still want to make a donation to City of Angels.
Okay, cool.
And there will not be anyone there collecting tickets. It is a suggested donation. No
Okay.
one's good. There is no gate. There is no door. Just
No.
come on out.
Just come on out.
It's a suggested donation if you want to help us continue, to help other people.
To help other people, and you could come out and enjoy the day with your entire family, honestly. And again, that is Friday, September 14th from 6 to 10, and again, Saturday, September 15th, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., and it is at the Mercer County Park, West Picnic area, West Windsor, New Jersey. So again, that is City of Angels, Walk with the Angels, if you're interested, and Return of Rockfest.
Hey, what about the car show by Hot Rods? What's that about?
Oh, they're Hot Rods for Heroin. They actually did one, I believe, last fall for us as a fundraiser. down in
Cool
South
stuff.
Jersey.
Good stuff.
So I was like, well, that would be really good to
Yeah,
incorporate
no.
into Rockfest
Oh,
and
that's
the
great.
run, and it'll just give people a reason to come.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the husbands don't want to hear the music, but they'll come to look at
Look
the
at the
cars.
cars. Oh no, of course.
We want to have a kids area, so that, there's something to amuse the kids.
And you have
know what I
food
mean,
trucks.
as well.
Yeah, food trucks.
I've got food trucks.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
I'm still working, but it's all coming together.
Is it all natural food on the food trucks?
Actually,
Since we're talking about that.
well, the one is Kona Ice, which is all shaved ice and water ice, and I believe they have ice cream too.
Flavored with sugar?
Probably.
Red number 5, blue number 2. I'm just kidding.
And then I think I have the Beach Shack food truck, which is all like shrimp and it's pretty exotic stuff. They were actually pretty good. I had ate off of his truck at another event, and I was like, ooh.
This is good.
Well, he happened to be on the list of approved for Mercer County Park already. So
No, but that's
it
a
was
real
win-win.
event. That's a real event with a car show, with a concert all day, with food, and the 50/50s and stuff. That sounds great, man.
Well, the Super 50/50, there is just going to be one, just to clear that up. We're going to be selling those tickets probably
okay.
starting sometime in the beginning of August, right straight through. So, hopefully that Super 50/50 is going to be somewhere around $6,000 or $8,000 for the winner. So
When is that announced then?
that will be at 10 o'clock on Saturday night, but you do not have to be present to win that one.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Hey, maybe at the end we can do a jam or something too. Since everyone's going to be there, I might as well get some folks together and play.
Yeah, by the time we do the next show, I'll actually have the time frames together.
All right.
Because the way we read them is not the order that they'll be playing.
That's okay.
No.
But I do have that all worked out already. So
Right. And what's really
sounds
good is
great.
if you, like I said, you could go to www.cityofangelsnj.org, and there is a tab there for Rockfest. So people can click on that. You could see all the bands.
or you can go to rockfestcoa.com.
Oh, there you go.
That'll take you there as well. Or you can go with walkwiththeangels.com.
Right. And then you can click on all the bands, and you could go right to their websites. Thank you, Art, for that.
Yes.
So everybody
Oh,
can
good.
see what's going on
Oh,
with
that's
all
great.
the bands and get familiar with them.
Well, I wanted people to be able to go see and hear their music. And
Oh, yeah,
they
that's
have
great.
videos that they were sharing. And
Absolutely. And speaking of music, do you want to have a sing along?
Yes.
Art, you up for it this time?
uh,
Okay. Abby, you game?
I'll try.
Well, for you, the folks at home, the song is going to be our little, I call it a kumbaya song. It's
It is
probably not,
kumbaya-y.
but
Yeah,
it is-
George Harrison's rolling in his grave.
I know, but it's Give Me Love. And we'd
Come
love
on.
you
he's
all
not
to join
alone.
in.
He's got Roy Orbison, Tom Petty.
What do you mean by that?
So turn your radios up and sing along with us and have some fun. So here we go. Go ahead, Rich. Hit it.
Take it away.
Hit it.
All right, Johnny.
Oh, yeah. And a one and a two.
Now the lovely Lemon Sisters will sing.
He's got the giggles now.
Oh, hit it. Hit it.
Hit it.
Cheese it is the fuzz. Okay, wait a minute. Give me love, give me love, give me a peace on earth. Give me life, give me life, give me a free from birth. Give me hope, help me cope with this
heavy load, trying to touch and reach you with heart and soul.
Please take my hand that I would understand. Won't you?
Please, oh, won't you give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth, give me life, give me life, keep me free from birth, give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load, trying to touch and reach you with heart and soul.
Oh, please take hold of my hand that I may understand. Won't you? Won't you? Please. Won't
You
you?
gotta work on that part.
He's just doing it to be fun. He's doing it to see how much we're going to put up with.
Won't you?
Yes.
Please.
Please.
Ow.
Give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth, give me life, keep me free from birth, give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load, trying to touch and reach you with heart and soul.
We did it.
He did it. See how much chocolate he ate? Do you see what happens, Abbie?
Yeah, perked him up a little too much.
Just a little too much. And then he's sitting there saying, I'm
Gonna
going to
need
just watch.
therapy
You
after
got
that.
you got a little cheeky. You know what?
He just did that just to see what we were going to do. You know that, right? But this is not like, what is that, musical chairs where the music stops and you're just supposed to sit and stop?
Freeze.
We should try that sometime.
Oh, I'm so
Let's
sure.
do that now.
On YouTube, it's like deer in headlights.
You guys are terrible. You really are. Thank you for putting up with us, Abbie.
Of course. Oh, it's
And
my
these
pleasure.
little shenanigans.
Hey, I only have to do it
We just
once,
have
right?
way too much time on our hands.
Well, we really do. And we do have some more commercials that we would like to do for you from our sponsors. And again, there'll be a sweet surprise at the last one, I'm sure, like we got at this one. So please listen in for your new official sponsors of the Health and Wellness Show. Are you constantly living with dysfunction in your life? If so, there's help. Neo Zoe, New Life Through Balanced Living, is a very unique holistic wellness company that's here to help you preserve a healthy balance and eliminate any dysfunction. We use an individual approach through nutrition, massage, and various other holistic practices. You can restore your optimal health and a healthy lifestyle. Visit us on the web at neozoe.com or call us at 732-713-0123.
If addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues control your life, and you are ready for change, Recovery Spot offers expert outpatient care for addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues. We offer focused, high-quality treatment specifically designed for you. Recovery Spot, we offer new hope for those suffering from pain and addiction. www.recoveryspotny.com. We're located in New York City.
Hi, this is Ryche Chlanda from Flying Dreams, and you're listening to City of Angels Recovery Radio.
It's like we can't get enough of you.
Wait a second, I'm an impressionist. Hi, this is Ryche Chlanda from... I sound just
You
like
sound
him.
just like him.
You do, you really do. For those of you just tuning in, welcome back. This is the Health and Wellness Show on City of Angels
Thank you, Art, for
Radio.
that.
That's coaradio.com, and you can call and join the fun and maybe even win something. And all you do is pick up the phone and dial 609-241-7103. We'd love to hear from you. And now, after all of our shenanigans, let's regroup a little bit and come back. And one thing that I think we were talking about children and all, but even with adults, for the
Yes.
adults that are listening that may not have children, there's a thing, and it's funny that this is coming up because I just had this experience with
Yeah.
somebody today. The difference between diet and exercise versus cleansing. And there's benefits to both. And I know that you have a wealth of knowledge in this area, you know, from your own personal experience and observations and all.
Right.
And just wondering if you could talk a little bit about that, plus with what you're doing
Yeah.
with your fruits and vegetable
Yeah, and
concentrates.
it is something that I do with my kids too. But one thing that I want to hit on is that it's not, like I said before, it's not promoting skipping the fruits and vegetables for a fruit and vegetable juice concentrate. It's making sure that that helps bridge the gap. But something else that's really important is to give your body a chance to cleanse itself. So one thing that we do, and I do my best on this one. It's a little bit of a challenge, and I even try to get my kids to go along with it. It's a lifestyle program that we do 10 days every month. So it's not that long. It's only 10 days. It's only through one weekend, but it's eliminating. Here we go: caffeine, alcohol, refined sugar, gluten-free, which for me is the hardest one because I just can't think about that sometimes. Drinking a lot more water, or like really paying attention to your water intake. Going with whole foods and not processed foods, like you were saying, Art. Using the fruit and vegetable juice concentrate, as well as the fiber and protein shakes to help balance your blood sugar and to help those cravings that might be creeping in. No eating after 6 p.m., another really hard one.
Wow.
Just to give your body a break. And then obviously doing your exercise and getting as much sleep as you can. It's a big program, and it is hard to do, but it's amazing because I just came off of one, and I only made it maybe like 8 days, I'm going to be honest, because it's hard. But I went to drink a cup of coffee yesterday, and I felt terrible.
Wow.
So it really does give yourself a chance to reset. It's shedding bad habits that aren't serving your body well and incorporating positive lifestyle changes. So people will do it for 10 days, and they'll come off and they'll kind of say, gosh, you know, I really don't need to go. Oh, actually, you know what? I missed one. No dairy, too. Dairy free. I know. It's hard. Sorry, I missed that one on my
'Cause
list.
these are habits.
Habits, right. So, like, I am almost dairy free. I mean, I obviously will eat a piece of pizza once in a while, you know, but, like, I make a conscious effort because I know that having listened to my body and then eliminating dairy for a few days, going back on it, you're like, ooh, that's not doing me any service
Well,
here
what
right
people
now.
don't realize, dairy creates inflammation in the body.
Inflammation.
And not just like where we're thinking like possible mucus and things like
Right.
that, but it's even in the joints, it's the whole body.
the
It's
whole
really,
body.
I used to drink a lot of milk,
Yes.
yeah.
and I mean I don't drink any. I mean I cheat like every once in a while. Like I want some ice cream, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
And that's okay. Like
And
once
you don't even have to think of it as
but
cheating.
I feel drastically different by not having all
Yes.
that dairy.
Well, and you know what it is? Once you eliminate it, like some people think like, oh, I need the milk for the calcium. I need it for my bones. But truth is, green leafy vegetables have just as much calcium as that
Totally.
milk. And then the way the milk process is nowadays and the pasteurization and the high temperatures, the enzymes are depleted in the milk. So like back in grandma days and all, and maybe some of us earlier than on, the glass bottles got delivered and they had that layer of fat, if you will, on
Yes.
top. And that's what
Cream.
helped you digest the milk. It's not like that nowadays.
No.
So it's very hard on
Yeah.
the system.
And you know, we're so fortunate in today's society to have so many milk alternatives,
Right.
almond milk and soy milk and coconut milk and cashew milk and pea milk even, like not green pea milk.
Right.
Don't
Thank
think
you
wrong.
for that
Yes, green
clarification.
pea milk. It's actually kind of good. You know what's so interesting is if you start your kids young, like I have with, they've never had cow's milk because they're not baby cows.
Right.
They're baby humans. So in replacement, they have almond milk, but they don't just drink it by itself. Like they don't come up to me and say, Mom, I really want some almond milk. They have chocolate milk, and that's when I use the fiber protein powder, the mixture. So they're getting a vegan protein powder that's also full of fiber. It's an additional 13 plant-based foods going into their bodies, and they love it. They ask for chocolate milk, and that's what they think chocolate milk is. We also use it to make cookie dough. If you've ever had cookie dough as a snack and you're like, oh, this is raw cookie dough, you can use it and make it the consistency of cookie dough and put a little chocolate chip in there. I make smoothies with it. I make ice cream with it. I make popsicles with it.
I've seen you do the popsicles.
I make pancakes with it.
Yeah.
I sprinkle it on their oatmeal because, again, it's just another way to get plant food into their bodies, which is only going to benefit them.
So then I have this question for you. I can guarantee by this type of diet that your children hardly ever, and it's on a rare occasion, get the common colds or different things. And, you know, if the young kids especially, if they're in daycare, that to me is like germ fest. It's a heaven.
Preschool.
It really is.
Germ
And I know
fest.
that a lot of the daycare centers do a lot of precaution. I'm not saying that they're
True.
dirty, but what it is children don't realize that sometimes they sneeze, they cough, and then they're wiping their eyes, not realizing it, and then touching that toy. And it just happens.
can't
It's-
clean
No,
everything.
it's part
You
of
can't.
it's part of life.
Yeah.
So for your kids to be healthy, if you will, from the inside out,
Exactly.
is really beneficial.
It's tremendous. My kids rarely get sick, and when they do, we use chiropractic care and we use our nutrition. You know, maybe I give them extra fruit and vegetable juice concentrate, so they have extra fruits and vegetables working for them. You know, it's the whole complexity of what the nutrients, the phytonutrients of fruits and vegetables can do for you is amazing. And I could probably talk another hour about it, but I won't bore you with all that. If you want to reach out to me,
That's my next thing is, what
and
is
ask
your
more
contact
questions. Yes,
information?
you
How
could-
can people reach out to you?
yes, I would love for people to email me at my email address is Abbie, Abbie, Signore, Signore @gmail.com.
Okay, for those of you that did not catch that,
Was that
that
fast?
is
Sorry.
yes, it's Abbie Signore Signore @gmail.com.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay, because you know your name.
I know my name.
And you know how to spell it. Not everybody does at all.
See, I win that gold star for me today.
You win. You win that.
She really does.
I know my name. But so anyway, you know, this lifestyle program helps us reset, and I do get my kids to do it. Like they love their mac and cheese, you know, and I'm not going to deny them the pleasures of being a
Right.
kid. And they love the pizza that they get at a birthday party or the cake, you know, and it's like you have to be a kid and you have to give and take, and you have to be flexible. And one thing I wanted to really let other moms and parents know is that I'm just a normal mom. Like I don't have a nutrition degree. I don't have anything like that. This is completely self-motivated and self-sought out, and I've learned so much in the process. And if I can do it, anybody else can do it too. You can still enjoy those kinds of things like the ice cream down the beach, or, you know, a waffle cake for lunch,
Right.
because it's a special event. If you know that you have the insurance policy of your fruit and vegetable juice concentrate and the protein and fiber shakes that go along with it, to ensure that those nutrients are still getting in your body even when you have cheats with your ice cream or with whatever. And it's easy to do. It takes the worry out of raising kids, which if you've ever raised a little kid, everything's a worry. So if this can give
Absolutely.
you a little peace of mind, knowing your kids are getting this nutrient, knowing that they're not getting as sick, they're not visiting the doctor, they're protected, they're protecting their DNA for future generations by encapsulating them in this good nutrition, it's such a relief.
Right, and I'll bring up a point too. You know, I know that people cringe, adults and children,
Yep.
that the cost of fruits and vegetables and all, it's a lot of money
It
to
is.
eat healthy. You know, it's easier, some people go to the value menus or whatever. And what people don't realize is that the money that you save in the end from medical
Yes.
bills, and most of all, the most important thing, that adage that says, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything.
It's true.
Be in a situation like that, you will find out that is so true.
So true.
So if you could avoid it, preventative, it's better to be preventative than have to deal with the consequence.
I always say you don't know what you're preventing.
See, they were
Exactly.
talking about that. There's a movie that actually talked about the disparages between the poor and what they can afford, you know, at the grocery store, and it's cheaper for them to eat off the dollar menu,
Exactly.
which is unhealthy and no good for them, than to, like for $1, they can't go buy anything in the produce
Right.
section. I don't think.
And that's what was so amazing, taking it back to the gardening, when Stephen Ritz, I've been reading his book, and he said, I saw this need where kids were nutrient deficient, and so were their families. So not only was he able to help kids learn where food comes from and grow fresh food and give it to them for their lunch, at least, he was able to send it home to their families. And then their families got involved, and it became a community. And it's so much easier to do the healthy living lifestyle if you have a community. That's what I love about some different communities that I'm involved in, is it's a support, because especially with a lifestyle change program like this that we do for 10 days, it's hard to stay on it.
And
it's
the other
hard
thing is too,
to
for 10
maintain it.
days. Like I heard you say, like don't eat past 6 p.m. And that's great, but there's people
hard.
that work nights.
Yes.
So their 6 p.m. could be
Yes.
our 7 a.m.
Right. And
You know,
so
it
we
depends.
Make modifications and we
Right.
help support everybody.
Absolutely.
I worked nights my whole life. It's just a matter of I ate breakfast at breakfast time and lunch at lunchtime and dinner at dinner time.
Yeah.
Not always at the same time.
Right,
Yeah.
so what I'm trying
but
to say is
Just
that
6 hours before bedtime or 5 hours.
No,
before
and
bedtime.
that's what I'm saying is
Right.
it's adjustable. So for people who may think that, okay, 6 p.m., well, that doesn't work for me, you can make anything, any adjustment in life to work with your schedule that you
And
have.
I always say, do what you can.
Right.
Because you're doing more than nothing.
Nothing, exactly.
If you can't maintain all of these, like I had to have a sip of coffee once in a while throughout that, because you get that little headache and you're like, oh, I'm jonesing for that coffee, right? So you take a little sip and you're just like, okay, that's all I need because I'm strong and I can do it. And then, like I said, the gluten is like impossible for me right now. I have such a hard time seeking it out and doing it. And so for me, I say, okay, that's where I'm giving right now, because I'm focusing on these other ones that I really want to try
Right.
for my family that I know that they can do. And someday when I'm ready, I'll be able to pick up the gluten-free aspect of it
Right.
too.
It's in steps. It's a
It's steps.
process.
It's a
It's
whole
not,
process.
and don't beat yourself up.
No.
If, like you said, you got it to day 8.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So what? So you did it.
Yeah.
Be proud. Even if
Yeah.
you get to day 2, you did it.
100%.
That
Yep.
Every little step counts.
Exactly.
That and replacing sugary drinks with water. I mean, that was
100%.
huge for me. I mean, I lost probably 20 pounds
Wow.
just by switching to water on a more consistent basis.
Yeah. And getting your body to crave that too over anything else.
Actually, you feel a lot better, once you're hydrated. and-
Yep.
Well,
Yes.
you are. And dehydration is a very big thing
Yes.
because people don't drink enough water and then they wonder why they have the headaches
Yeah,
or the
but
dry
I drank
skin. and-
sugary water all the time. Instead
Right.
of just water, it was a sugary drink, iced tea, a
Yeah.
Coke.
And carbonation itself is bad.
Yes.
Because carbonation tricks your stomach and it actually expands it so
All
you're
those
not
bubbles.
feeling full.
How many extra calories are you putting on just drinking all that sugar alone, not counting anything else in your diet?
And some
right?
people will say, well, I don't like water. It's so boring. It's so tasteless. And I say, get yourself a water infuser. You put some
Yeah.
fruits and
Yeah, I
vegetables
put
in it,
Absolutely.
lemon,
and it makes it so much more
Cucumber's
fun.
really good.
I put
lemon's
lemon
good.
in, and my kids steal my infuser bottle, and they drink it all. And they're
Lemon
like,
and
"I need the
cucumber are
lemon
two of the
water."
most natural
Yeah.
detoxifiers.
Yep.
there.
Yes, they is. And people don't realize you can even use berries like strawberries
yeah.
and blueberries and all and make a nice little
Kiwi.
fruit punch. It's very easy to
Watermelon.
do. And everybody's like,
crazy.
well, I don't have time. I don't have time. I have news for you.
You can buy those on Amazon for about $7. I
Yeah,
think,
and
the
it's easy.
infuser
It's
thing.
if you can cut a lemon, stick it in the thing, fill it up with water, you're done.
You're
Yeah,
done.
that's
It's
the
easy.
problem with people's health, though, today. Everybody's processed foods and everybody's in a hurry.
Well,
And
that's very true. So before it's like it gets too late, you should start forming better habits
Right.
Right.
now.
And you could change one
tell you,
thing.
One thing,
Yeah, right.
one simple change.
I
Yep.
think the major change that I made in my eating habits was cooking more whole food, you
Right.
know what I mean, and less prepared food. I
Right.
mean, like eating healthy. That's how my mother cooked, and that's how my grandmother cooked.
And it's not that difficult.
They led long lives.
Yes.
You're not learning how to cook anymore. Home ec programs around
Right.
the country are failing because there's not enough money to put behind them, and so kids are leaving high school and going into college, and they don't learn how to cook. And I didn't know how to cook well even until I was married, and then I started kind of having to cook a little bit more. And so teaching yourself how to cook, it's a lot easier than you think once you learn a couple of tricks, and to then throw in vegetables, fruits,
Yeah.
whenever you can. Even if you're cooking something and you just cut up an apple and put it on your plate next to it, 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables, and some will even say raw fruits and vegetables is what we're
Right.
supposed to have in a day. It's impossible. So you need something. You need extra help.
That is true. And with that extra help, right, we keep ourselves healthy, because you know how school starts back in this area around September, and
Yeah.
everyone gets sick and everything. So we follow what Abbie says, and then it gets us ready for another event. And that will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, October 5th through the 7th. It's Prog Stock. Do you know what Prog Stock is, Abbie?
Progressive rock.
She's
Stock.
Look at that. It's North America's newest international progressive rock festival, and it's going to be at the Union County Performing Arts Center in Rahway, New Jersey. Tickets are now on sale. You could go visit the website at www.progstock.com and clink. Can you hear what I sing?
Clink.
You'll be clinking
Cheers.
when you click on the tickets and donations
Captain
tab.
At the
Clink.
Wealth and Wellness Show.
Exactly. I made that mistake too. So right now, directly from the Union County Performing Arts Center online box office, you can buy a 3-day festival pass for $195 each for the orchestra seats, or $165 each for the mezzanine. And you can enjoy this year's Prog Stock 2018 for all 3 days from one of the best seats in the house. And you know why it's the best seat? Because they allow you to choose your own seat within the amazing theater, and it's an unbelievably low price for 3 days. And if you act fast, because these 3-day passes will not be available for long. They're only available until September 11, 2018. And everyone, this is what I like best, is everyone who attends Prog Stock is considered a VIP. And that means that not only do you get the great shows, you're able to have a meet and greet with the artists and mingle with the artists and the fellow fans. And one of those artists and bands is sitting right here. Ryche, Chlanda and Flying Dreams will be one of the performances at Prog Stock, and you're featured, I believe, on that Saturday, October 6th at 11 a.m. You start off the
We have
festivities.
a special showcase slot that is going to be great. It's a great slot. We start off the Saturday, and then we play from 11 to 12, and then for the next hour you meet the band. We have
So they can come up and shake your hands and get pictures with you, and you could sign autographs and all that fun
yes,
stuff.
and there'll be new merch. We have
They could bring you a bag of apples.
I take 10 apples for 1 CD.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
It's a
That's a deal.
But yes, it's going to be a great thing. We'll have a new. We're going to premiere our new album at Prog Stock, so that's going to be great.
Well, you're
fun.
currently in the studio
in
right
the
now.
studio now.
I'm coming
yes.
with a bag of apples.
Apples, yes. Well, for you, you get them
Discount.
for free.
That's
5
right.
apples.
3 apples.
So now what I understand is you just buy a festival ticket for any seat in the theater, and you're all set for, you know, the shows, the meets and greets, the mingling with the artists and the fellow fans. And you do that again by visiting the website www.progstock.com, and you click on the tickets and donations tab to be a part of all the fun.
And it's also a great bunch of folks that are throwing it. You know, all of the promoters and all the people involved are really, really nice folks. You know, so I know them all personally, and they're just in it to save live music
Yeah.
and progressive music.
And they're a fan of City of Angels, because
Yeah.
I think they're going to be at Rockfest.
Yeah, they're a
Awesome.
fan. Oh
Both
yeah,
days, I think they're going to have a table
Yes,
there. as
they
they're
are.
gonna have a table at there. So they're,
Will
they're
they be
just-
selling? Let me ask you this then: since they're going to be at Rockfest, will you be able to purchase tickets at the?
I believe they're working on that, yes.
Awesome.
And they have some
Yeah, man.
Prog Stock, you know, merch and stuff like that. So
Great.
definitely visit the table. And again, you know, visit the website, because seats do go fast for this event. So it's www.progstock.com. And that way you get the 3-day festival pass. So it's not, you're getting all 3 days really for the price of one, which is really nice.
Yeah, it is.
That's really a great show. So, Abbie, I've learned about gardening that now I find out I could do, because I don't have to get
Space age gardening.
my hands all dirty
Right,
and all that fun
right.
stuff, which is great. I've learned about fruits and vegetables. I've learned about 10-day fasting that, you know, we'll call it cleansing, but it's like more like a fasting. Let's admit that.
You can do it.
I know I can. I've
can
been
do
there
it.
doing
Yeah.
it. And it's not as hard as people think.
It's really not. It's really not.
And if you get your mindset that you're going to do it on this date to this
Mhm.
date, it works like that. So that's good.
And you'll feel amazing. So
I
it's
think
worth
so.
it.
It is amazing. I really think it is. And What I do want to say is that I thank you, Abbie, for coming on the show, sharing your wealth of knowledge, and most of it is because you were a mom on a mission. For your own children, you knew your own journey to have those children, and now to keep them happy and healthy. And you know what's funny? It's contagious. Learning is contagious. So what you're teaching them, they might teach to their friends, who then might even teach them to another mom or something like that.
That would bring me so much joy.
You're spreading the wealth of knowledge that you've gained, and you should be so proud of that.
If my kids taught their friends about kale or salad or cucumbers and said encourage them to eat them, I would be like, oh, winning.
Well, they probably will.
I think they will.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I always send fruits and vegetables with them to school. So even at snack time, I say, what did your friends eat? What did you eat? Let's talk about it.
They're trading that in for Oreos.
Right? They're like, I'll give you these carrots.
That's
Come
why
on.
when they're on their
Sure,
10-day
Mom.
fast, they're like, where's my sugar?
Yeah, right.
I got 4 carrots here, and
4 carrots for 2 Oreos.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Well,
you got the carrots, yeah. You
Anyway,
got the
I'll make them smart business kids, right?
so for all those moms out there or anybody who would like to find out more information or what you did to help your
Yes.
children, how do they contact you?
They can email me at abbiesignore@gmail.com. I'll spell it for you. It's ABBIESIGNORE@gmail.com.
That's perfect. And it's absolutely
slowed down.
beautiful. And I also want to thank our newest sponsor, Dr. Carol Iazi from Lifeline Chiropractic in Cranford, New Jersey. So thank you so much for becoming our new sponsor of the show.
That was a great show.
It was a great
Thank
show.
you guys so
And it
much
goes
for letting me
by
be on, yeah.
so fast.
by
That's
fast.
what you
So
don't
fun.
realize.
It always goes fast.
It really does.
Time flies when
And
you're
you
having
are a wealth of beautiful information, helpful stuff. And I'm sure you helped so many people in the audience.
Oh, I
tonight.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I hope so. And I really want to reiterate, I'm a normal mom. It's just a mom doing the best she can. And if this gives you any sort of help and guidance or hope that, you don't have to live a sick life, you don't have to live an unhealthy life, you don't have to live with picky eaters.
No.
That can all change.
The fact that they hold up that broccoli, I'll still never forget that image, and with a smile, it's just amazing to see that can happen. And I've seen it happen, and it's, kids only know what they're taught.
Right.
So if they're not introduced to different things, you don't know about it.
I always say my main job as a parent is teaching my children how to be human.
Right.
And that means from birth, it's eating, drinking, sleeping, walking, and then also where food comes from, how to be a good citizen, how to clean up your environment, how to live in this world, how to be a part of a community and a society. And a healthy eating lifestyle actually encompasses all of that stuff. So it becomes a lifestyle before you know it.
Absolutely. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you guys
coming
so
on
much
to
for
the
letting me
show,
be here.
And sharing it, because like I said, you are a wealth of knowledge,
Thank
and
you.
I'm really proud of you. You've
Oh,
learned
thank
so
you.
much, and you, like
It
I
all
said,
started with you and
Oh,
Dr.
gee.
Carol. I have to say, I have to give you guys both props.
Well, you're very welcome, and you've taken it to a whole nother extreme, so thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And thank you so much for everybody who's been listening to the show and tuning in. And our next show will be Wednesday, August 15th, and that will be from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And since she was such a wonderful guest, and she's also a wealth of knowledge,
She's
our
wonderful.
next guest is going to be Dr. Carol Iazi from Lifeline Chiropractic in Cranford, New Jersey. And she's Webster certified, so I don't know what that means, so we're going to learn about that and what is an adjustment and so much more, because she's a wealth of knowledge. She works with people of all ages and everything. So I'm so excited to have her as a guest on our next show. Again, is Wednesday, August 15th from 8 to 9:30 p.m. And if you'd like to be a sponsor of the Health and Wellness Show, you could go to www.cityofangelsnj.org and click the donations tab and put in there any denomination, mark it for the Health and Wellness Show, and we can make you an official sponsor for 30 days. Until next time, Art, thank you so very much
Thank you.
for doing everything that you do for our show and make it run. Our musical director, Ryche Chlanda.
Thank you very much.
And you survived your new changing chair. I like it. Thank you.
I've been holding my breath for an hour and a half, and now I'll be able to breathe.
He's all anxious.
Perfect. And to Abbie, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much again. From all of us here at the Health and Wellness Show on cityofangels.com, have a good night.